Cloud. Okay, hi guys. Happy Monday. Welcome Team Boss Babes Team Call. I am so excited for tonight. It's going to be so great. So Jen actually came up with this idea, and she was thinking that it would be really cool to do kind of like a round table of all of the leaders on the team, the diamond leaders on the team. Her original thought was to do it as a sneak peek so that people who are interested in coaching can hear other stories, hear fears that other people may have had, but people who have gone on to have success. And then we kind of brainstormed a little bit based off of all these incredible questions she came up with. And we decided that, you know what, this would be a freaking awesome team call. In 2020, we have had 16 people advance to diamond, which is absolutely incredible. Literally, we have 44 people on this call. Every single one of you can be a diamond and beyond coach if you just make the decision to do so. That's what all these ladies did. And tonight we have 3 questions that we're going to ask each one of them. There is quite a few of them, so we're going to hear from each of them, just quick and concise, and just sharing their heart and their experience on what it has meant for them to be coaches, and what it has looked like for them to get to diamond and grow their business beyond that as well. So we are going to kick it off. We're just going to do a quick intro of all of them. Not everybody could be on tonight, so we are missing a few gals, but for those who we're going to hear from, let's just honor their time and pay attention and take notes. Remember, their story might not resonate with you, but you sharing those stories with your followers could resonate with somebody who's watching you. I think telling stories in this business is the best way to get other people off of the fence and to at least have the conversation with you. Because maybe they don't relate exactly to your story, right? Maybe they came from being super overweight and you were never overweight, right? Maybe they really, really loved their job and they weren't looking for something else. You know what I mean? So you never know, but listen to these stories, take notes, and then go share those things with the people who are watching you, so people know that it's not just one person who signs up as a coach. There's so many different kinds of coaches, and their story doesn't have to look like yours for them to be successful as well. And that's pretty cool. Okay, so quick intro, who you are and how long have you been coaching? Alex, go ahead and kick it off.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm married. I am a fur mama. I live in Gresham, Oregon. In my background, I am a bartender. That usually takes up most of my time, but right now during furlough and quarantine, I am a full-time coach, and I've been coaching for 3 years.
Awesome. Carly. You girlfriend.
Okay, I am Carly. I'm from Vancouver, Washington. What were we supposed to say?
Who you are and how long you've been coaching.
And I signed up as a coach in August of last year, but that was like months after signing up as a customer because I was adamant about the fact that I only wanted Shakeology from Danny, and I thought I was way too good for Beachbody programs.
Okay, Hannah.
I'm Hannah. I live in Spokane, Washington, which is on the border of Idaho. So I'm on the other side of the state. I've been coaching for almost 3.5 years, and I'm a wife, a mom to a little boy. I used to be a project manager at an ad agency, and now I am a full-time stay-at-home mom and Beachbody coach. Woo!
Okay, Jen.
Hello. I'm Jen. I live in Olympia, Washington. Let's see here. I've been coaching now for a year, but really coaching since January. Let's be real here. And let's see, I'm a mom of a daughter. I'm a girlfriend. I am a past fur mama, and I love to be silly, fun, meet new people. Like, I'm really nervous about being live right now because I don't know why. It's one of my weirdest fears ever. Like, you know, when people pick on you in class, yeah, I'm like, I can read really well, but I don't like when I have to do it. So yes, bear with me because you're getting to know me. I think I have held back so much because of this fear, and I'm ready to just run with it and show the world that I have so much to offer and I'm sharing my gifts. So, hey, I'm Jen.
All right, Kat.
I'm Kat. I live in Westland, Oregon. I am a wife and a dog mom, and I'm expecting our first baby boy in August. I am a preschool teacher, but I've been furloughed since March, so I don't know if I'm still a preschool teacher. But I've been a coach for 5 years, but really consistently a coach just the last few months, really, I guess.
Kayla.
Hi guys, I'm Kayla. I live in Central Oregon. I am a military spouse. I'm a girl mom ×2. I am a former hairstylist and a former not fitness girl. And I've been coaching for 6 months.
Yay, okay, Kristen.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen. I'm from Tucson, Arizona, the hot desert. I have been coaching for 11 months. Next month will be my year mark. And actually when I first started, I was so fearful of it. So I told myself I'd only give myself a year and see where it went. And now I'm loving it. I used to be a teacher. I taught for 6 years, and then I went back and got my master's and got my master's in counseling. So I have my own private practice as a mental health therapist, and then I do Beachbody coaching.
Okay, Maya.
Okay, I'm Maya, and I am in Tucson, Arizona as well, and a mom of 2 boys. And I've been doing this actually almost 2 years, but for 18 months, I did not know that I could make money from this. And so when Kristen wanted to sign up, I was like, all right, let's do this. And but I was pregnant at the time and didn't really do too much until about January. So loving it.
Okay, Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie, and I think you said age, maybe I'm 29, and I have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old next month, and I stay home with my kiddos. My husband's a police officer. I do some teaching, but not right now, and I've been I signed up as a discount coach 2 years ago, and started coaching in January.
Okay. So, like, what you can hear just from all their stories is they're all different backgrounds. They all started at different times. They all just made the decision to grow a diamond business, right? Like, Kristen even gave herself an ultimatum, like, I'll see what happens in a year. Even with that ultimatum, she didn't even get started for 3 or 4 months. So it doesn't really, like, yes, it's great to have an awesome start, but it doesn't determine, just like we've heard from Trina, at 2 years into the business, she couldn't even log into her coach online office. And now she is one of the top coaches in the network and brings in over $2 million a year from Beachbody. And at 2 years in, she couldn't log into her online office because she hadn't logged in 6 months and she didn't know her password. So it just tells you no matter how or when you get started, all that matters is you get started and you don't stop. Okay, first question. So you guys got the order now? All right, first question. What were your fears when you first started and how were you able to overcome them?
Honestly, I thought about this for a very long time as to what my fear was. I don't think I had many fears aside from I didn't know what I was doing. And overall, I was afraid that I was going to fail. And then ultimately, I didn't want Hannah to beat me. And I don't know what beat me means at the time. It was just the fact that we signed up together. We have known each other for a really long time. And I was just nervous that she was going to beat me wherever we were going. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But overall, how I overcame it was just by doing it and to being present and to leaning into the team. For the longest time, I really thought these team calls were optional. I don't know where in my brain I thought optional. This was a thing. So once I started becoming a part of the team and leaning in and making this a priority is when I started to just let all of those fears go.
My turn? Okay. So my biggest fear was being that girl. I told Danny in the beginning when we did my Getting Started Right call that I did not want to coach and I didn't want to be on social media. And that was 100% the reason why I didn't want to do this, because I was so fearful of what people would say. You know, Danny and I have known each other for a very long time. We do NCAA together, and throughout the years since I've watched her be a coach, I've also heard a number of people on staff with us talk a huge amount of shit about Danny because of her being a Beachbody coach. And so having that on like one side of my ear, you know, while I'm seeing like the potential of what this business could be for me was really, really hard. And part of that was just having very close people to me as well, being really huge influences in, you know, deterring me from doing this because of social media and being that girl. And, you know, after expressing that to Danny, the number one thing that has always stuck with me, she said to me, like, are these people that you would switch lives with? And at the end of the day, when I look at the people that have criticized her or have criticized me for now joining her, they 100% are people that I would not switch lives with. And I'm so happy that I decided to overcome those fears, like Alex said, by just doing it. Once I started posting my workout videos, once I started sharing my Shakeology and actually just sharing what I did on a daily basis, I got more comfortable with it. And consistency is the number one thing that has gotten me here, because that was the number one thing that Danny instilled in me too, like just to show up daily, do those daily habits and behaviors, and you'll be able to overcome it by becoming more comfortable just doing it and showing up. But yeah, if I would have let those people and that criticism stop me, I wouldn't be where I am today. The other really big apprehension I had was time, because when I started and signed up as a coach, I was a year into my master's program. And I told Danny that was a big reason why I didn't want to coach either, because I had too much on my plate. But the reality is we make time for the things that are important to us. And I multitask all the time, being in school, being a nanny, having an internship. So it wasn't that I couldn't do it. I was just also using that as an excuse. So now I'm done with my master's and I've become a diamond, and it's like, what the hell? Why was I so afraid of all of these things? You literally can overcome every fear you have if you just set your mind to it. So that's my story.
Dang, girl. Love it. I think I'm next. If not, I'm skipping ahead of whoever it is. So I was trying to think about it, and I kind of had four. The first is, beforehand, I kind of thought this was a pyramid scheme. And how I overcame that is I just learned more. I actually joined one of the coach sneak peeks, and I was like, oh, okay, this isn't. That's great. Check that off the list. I didn't want to be salesy like most people. And I just learned really quickly from Danny that you don't want to be salesy and gross. Don't be salesy and gross. Not that complicated. And and I was like, oh, okay. So there's no like simple. I think one of the really big ones for me was my husband wasn't really supportive of it, just because even after I realized it wasn't a pyramid scheme, he is just very wary of MLMs, and he was afraid that this would be a very vain thing, and he didn't want me to like portray myself that way. And I think he was just kind of fearful of it. And so one of my biggest fears was that this could hurt our marriage. And so that was something that we kind of overcame together. In the end, it came down to, he realized that he wanted to support me, even though he didn't necessarily support Beachbody, but he saw how much joy it brought me, and it was making me happy, and that I was doing it well and in a way that was genuine to me and was honoring to Christ and all of that. So that has honestly been a constant step, though. Like, he keeps me kind of in check in a way. Not that I necessarily need it, but it's good to have that. And then also my last kind of fear, honestly, once I was like, okay, I want to do this, a fear was that all of my friends would get to it first. Like, I had a dream team list. And once I realized how great this was, I was like, oh, I need to start now before everyone else realizes how amazing of an opportunity this is and gets on board first. And then they're going to be asking me, and I'll be like, I wanted to ask you. So that was then a fear. So that got me off my butt and got me started.
Go Hannah. Okay, I love that. So fear for me, that was a really, really tough one for me because I didn't have a lot of fears going into it other than like failing, thinking what other people would think of me or like that kind of thing, because I don't know, it's kind of crazy, this bug. It's kind of crazy because I still think back to the day and I'm like, I literally reached out to Danny. So I was ready to go, but I was not ready to go. I knew deep down that I needed something, but I wasn't ready. Like, I will tell you, I don't know if this goes with fear, but maybe this will resonate with you. I don't know. I literally had just got fired from my job because I had no one to help me with my daughter. I lost my dog of 10 years to cancer. Sorry. I just felt really low. I was dealing with postpartum depression, and my fear was that if I didn't do this, if I didn't do something, that a lot of bad things were going to happen for me because God, I'm so sorry, but this is really what it comes down to. And so, gosh, I jumped in, and that's why I dangled for so long, because I hit some freaking goals right away. Like within a week, I went Emerald, I hit Success Club, and it felt so great. It was like amazing. But like mentally and with my life, I just wasn't lining up with being able to do that. I had a lot of things going on. I signed my, what maybe you call future mother-in-law, and then something happened. I mean, I don't know if anybody can resonate. We want to love everybody, right? But if you have any sort of conflict with anyone in like your maybe mother-in-law, whatever it is, right? Well, she quit on me like 2 weeks after she signed up because she wasn't happy with some sort of thing. And that was my defeat. I know my entire life I've had lack of support, but that right there made me feel like, gosh, maybe I don't have what it takes to do this. Like nobody wants to like run with me. Nobody wants to support me because of silly little things, right? So that was my fear. And then, gosh, chicken chili. Some girl joined, her name is Kristen, and she like, I'm like, okay, I'm still following along. And then I went and I followed her thing, and she posted this recipe for chicken chili, and she said it was one of her favorite recipes for Christmas time. I'm like, whoa, that sounds good. So suddenly I'm like intrigued on this woman, and my fears suddenly started to like dwindle, because I also had fears of like, I wanted all this, and then I saw Danny as so successful, and I saw me as at the beginning, and I saw her here, and I was just like, okay, well, how am I going to get there? Because I didn't really know how to navigate from A to Z without all the middle. So once I saw someone just sign up and hit the ground running and find success after I discovered a recipe, like I was like, oh my God, wow, we got to share everything that we love, because somebody might share something and then all of a sudden it opens your whole world to something else. So I'm sorry, I kind of got off track on that, and I'm sorry that I cried. I'm really not sorry. I am sorry, but whatever. Just saying, fears will literally, you can overcome them if you just show up to a team call and talk live. Just saying. Boom. Passing the mic.
I was really worried about, sorry, Tyler's doing manual labor. Can you guys hear that? Sorry. I was so worried about what people would think of me. It took me a really long time to start showing up on social media and start being consistent, but I got over that with personal development, and I was terrified of trying and failing until I realized the only way I'm going to fail is if I don't try.
Okay, so I had a fear that was kind of a two-part fear. The first initial thing was, I don't have a story. I don't have a fitness story. I'm small and petite. Who's going to care, or who's going to want me to be their quote unquote coach? I am not the fitness girl. And so that was kind of something that held me back in this thought process that what do I know? Who am I to tell someone about fitness or to eat right or whatever? I'm small and petite. And that was kind of what I was told all through my life. Like, oh, I wish I was as small as you. I wish I was as small as you. And that wasn't a bad thing, but until I started realizing that I felt uncomfortable in the lack of what I was doing, I knew I needed to do something. So coaching became that ultimate accountability for myself to actually show up, get fit, be consistent with something. But then the part of actually coaching, like overcoming that fear, came from the accountability, came from showing up, came from posting on social media, and then having friends actually say, you are, like, I was their inspiration. Like, oh my gosh, like I wasn't the fitness girl, or I'm not really into it either, or just those people who kind of are in that on the fence too, and needing someone to go, oh, you can start from not knowing anything. So that was super helpful for me to overcome that fear with friends actually being supportive. So maybe it's a little of that, the opposite of what Jen was just saying. But also the other side was that there's already so many coaches. I'm just starting. How am I going to navigate in this sea of big fish that are huge coaches who are already signing tons of people up? And I legit just had to tell myself, like, there are so many people in this world. Not everybody wants to sign up with a top coach because they might not feel supported enough, or they might not feel like that person actually cares. They might just be a number. So I could be the person that could be their friend, could be their cheerleader, and could hype them up. And I just had to keep telling myself that that's what I needed. And so I'm going to show other people how to do that too.
So I can agree with everything everyone has said. Those have all been my fears as well. So I kind of want to go a different route and say, like, my biggest obstacle with getting started was myself. And it was me being honest with what I really wanted. So I watched other coaches for 2.5 years on social media, watching them go on these amazing trips, watching them rank advance, watching them stop or retire from their full-time job to do coaching. And the whole time I was just like, oh, that's fun, but that's not for me. But I kept watching and I kept watching and I kept watching. And then finally I said, okay, I'm going to sign up. And so I did. And then when someone asked me what my goals were, I'm like, oh, I just want to help a couple people. I just want to, just see where this goes. That was never my goal. My goal, like, I want to hit the ground. I want to go as far as I can with this. If Beachbody could be my only income, that's what I want. And I've always just hid all those things that I really wanted. And so I think my fear kind of tied up in all of that was failing and speaking the truth out loud and then that not happening. And so for me, I think the way that I really overcame it is by just being honest with myself and allowing myself to dream big and speak these goals out loud, because I've recognized that the more that I speak them out loud, the more they're coming to fruition and the more ability I have to go after them. And so I think for myself, my encouragement for all of you is to be honest with yourself and really reflect and see what is it that you want. Because once I was able to recognize those things, that became my vision, and everything else that I was so fearful of just kind of went to the wayside, and I put my blinders up and then just started going.
I'm so glad you started going, because that has made it so much more fun for me. I think that my fear was kind of like everyone else's, like, what will people think, things like that. But it more was like, will people trust me? Because I love Young Living Oils. I love a discount, so I'm technically like a member in whatever you call it. And then same with makeup and things like that. And so I had shared all of that the past 5 years. And so people are like, oh, it's just another company that Maya's representing, or talking about, like, she's wishy-washy or something like that. And so that was hard for me, because I wanted people to do this with me, but I didn't want them to think I was selling them something or just another thing. And then in a year or so, I'll be doing something else. And what I really did to overcome that was I just thought about, okay, what is my passion? Even throughout this makeup, the Young Living oils, like I'm still going to use that, but like I don't see myself in 10 years maybe using all that same stuff. But even when I was still working out. I was still using Beachbody. I was still loving all the accountability groups I was in. And so I was like, you know what? What's been consistent through all this time is Beachbody, and that I have loved it so much that I have stuck with it this long, that if I think to the future, in 10 years from now, I'm still going to be working on myself and moving my body, hopefully, drinking Shakeology, and wanting to, you know, continue to be healthy. So when I realized that was my passion, I was able to just overcome that and not be afraid of what people thought. And that also had to do with consistency as well, like showing like I am showing up every day and this is what I'm doing. And I'm doing it for me. And if you want to do it with me, then that's awesome.
So Stephanie's daughter might be having an allergic reaction, so they had to run to urgent care. So maybe don't bombard her, but maybe check in on her, see if she's okay later. So let's just get rolling to the next question then. What are 3 things that you portray as a coach that you believe contribute to your success? So what are 3 things that you portray as a coach that you believe contribute to your success?
I feel that I share my highs and lows as openly as possible on all of my stories. I try not to hold anything back. When I did the Ultimate Reset back in March, I can't tell you how many times I cried just to be thankful to be here and to just share this opportunity with everybody. The Ultimate Reset really does like tap into your feelings and really just lets go of everything that you've got inside your body. So if you ever decide that you want to try something new, life-changing, definitely do that. But that leads me into my second portrayal, is just being vulnerable and to let everybody know that it's okay to not have yourself put together 100% of the time. I can't tell you that I love stories so much. Reason being, I can sit here and not have any makeup on. I always put a filter on just because it makes me feel good, but you don't need it. People want to see your realness and your rawness just coming from you. I don't ever delete anything. If I think it's crap, it goes up. Reason being, I'm not perfect. I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm perfect and that I've got words right, because sometimes words is hard. Words are hard. See, I would put that up there. It is what it is. And then I think the most important thing is never breaking a promise to myself. I definitely show up when I say that I'm going to show up, and I don't let others not show up for themselves. I will do my best to be there for other people as well, and I want everybody to know that. But I think the most important thing is making sure that you are a priority, and that I want to show people that, and to never put myself on the back burner.
Alex, props to you for never deleting anything or just posting shit as you go, because I am a perfectionist and it takes me like years to just post one story. I can't tell you how many times like I record and then just freaking delete it because I absolutely hate it. And my best friend Morgan's sitting here and she knows, like, I'll sit here and record and it will take me like 45 minutes to get one story up. So you guys like think I do real great with my stories, but like the behind the scenes takes me hours. So, and then I get nothing done. But the 3 things that I portray that I think makes me a successful coach, in all honesty, I had a hard time thinking of 3 things because I sometimes go through this roller coaster where I don't think that I'm being successful in this business. But obviously I'm Diamond, so I'm doing something right. But I can't tell you how many times within the last couple of months I've just felt like I'm not doing enough. But if I think back to a majority of the things that people reach out to me in regards to, the number one thing I think is just being real and raw about my story and what got me here. the amount of people that have reached out to me in terms of me sharing my journey with like my mental health, and then also being in a toxic relationship prior to signing up as a coach, those have been really big connections for people that have reached out to me. So I think that's just huge about sharing your story, because someone out there will relate to you somewhere in this world. And then the other thing I think that contributes to a lot of my success is the fact that I share over and over again about how big of a skeptic I was, because like, if you can think of a skeptical person, I was the biggest skeptic you could think of. Like, I watched Danny for 4 years before I finally said yes. I was like, no, I don't want workouts. I only want Shakeology. I signed up as a coach, still said I wasn't going to do it. Like, it took me months to finally like get running with this business. But once I signed up, like my first 5 people, I was like, holy shit, like I can actually do this. So yeah, just sharing that I was a skeptic, because I really was. I did not believe in the power of these products. I didn't believe in Shakeology. I thought I was too good for the workouts. So continuously sharing that, and also the fact that I was an athlete and active my entire life. So showing that people who are gym rats can see results from these at-home workouts is a huge draw for people, because a majority of the people that have known me for my entire life know that I've always been into fitness and being a cheerleader and being active. So to completely transform from being a gym junkie to now working out at home and not going to the gym anymore, I think is huge for people to see. And then the third thing I think that contributes to my success is talking about the products that I love and that I don't love. I had never tried Hydrate before up until I signed up for 80 Day Obsession. I told everybody that I ordered it. I don't love it. I'm almost done with my first container. I'm going to throw it out and I'm not going to order it again. And those are things that I talk about. Like, I promote Liquid IV because that shit's so good. So if you guys don't like Hydrate, you should try Liquid IV. But yeah, just talking about the products that you do love and you don't love, because if you're out here sharing that you love absolutely everything and you really don't stand by it, then I don't think that shows the real and raw parts for people to actually be able to believe in what you're saying. So yeah, those are my 3 things.
For me, 3 things I think I portray. 1 is that my faith is the most important to me, and I think that just helps attract my tribe. 2, that I'm joyful. Like, even in my bio, I say smiling enthusiast, because I think if you like watch my stories, I love smiling and being energetic and a little goofy, and that's just kind of who I am. And I think people just want to see happy people in their feed. And if they don't want to see happy people, they're probably not going to like me anyway. So not my person. And then last is that I'm encouraging. Like, I named my team the Encourage Tribe, and that's something that they're going to get from me, whether they actually are like doing this with me or if they're just watching my stories, they're going to get encouragement from me.
Okay, so what were my 3 things? Okay, so what do I think that portrays to me being successful? Well, the light bulb moment of, hey, you joined a team, but you're not just gonna like be a part of this team unless you like actually lean in. So I think what helped me be successful was I leaned in and I really tried hard to make some genuine connections. Like, I was like, okay, well, these women obviously signed up. They want to go after, they're all trying to go for something, whether they're trying to get their health and fitness, whether they're trying to make money for their family, whether they're trying to start a business, whatever that is. Like, we all have a common denominator. So what are those other denominators? Like, what else do we have in common? And I mean, I'm like a common person. I'm like, oh my God, we're wearing the same thing today. Cute. Like, whatever kind of a thing. Like, I just want to find common things. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I'm like, lean into this team, find connections with these people, because even if you don't find success yet in your business, you're finding success in the team by building relationships and figuring out more about each individual that obviously has incredible stories to share and different things that are like aha moments like throughout. Because it's like, yeah, you have a light bulb moment, but I feel like I constantly have like flickers and then lights and then dark moments, and then, you know, it's all those moments within. But I feel like that is something that once I finally realized, wow, I'm not going to make relationships. I'm not going to get this like team that you see these pictures of people like going on vacations with and having fun. And they're like, I love each other. And I'm like, I'm a boss babe, but like nobody knows who I am, right? Like, so lean into the team. And when I say that, I mean like literally lean in and just be like, hey, I'm this. And if somebody likes it and they're like, yeah, me too. And if somebody isn't, it's cool, it's whatever. So sorry, that has been a huge thing for me because I've made so many connections and like people that like maybe Danny found, maybe Maya found, maybe Hannah found, maybe Carly found, whoever it is, maybe Melissa, like you are all bringing people into this network that are incredible and that can inspire. So that's been a huge thing for me because I'm like, find inspiration when you don't have a person. And so I will literally just go and like, okay, I'm just going to go watch your stories because I need something like to feel inspired today because, you know, not everybody's the same, but I have like, a wave of emotions, like I said, obviously with the postpartum thing and then just all of it. Right. So I think that's a huge thing. Leaning into like the tools at hand that like most people don't. Danny tells you every single time, like she posts something, okay, here you go. It's in the files tabs or whatever. Like there's so many things. Like last night I couldn't sleep at 1:30 and I don't know what like popped into my mind this to make me do this, but I was like, well, what can I do with my time that's productive if I can't sleep? And I literally went back into 2019 and I searched like keywords that I was like, okay. And then I started watching videos and I started watching things and I watched like the Why Emerald video and I watched this and I watched that. And I'm like, there are all these tools, like people ask questions every single day. I don't mind answering them, but there are so many things that you can find out if you just take the time to do it. So that's been huge for me because I'm a researcher like crazy. Like I used to want to be a CSI. So I will like go and find any little detail. So I think that, and then I'm sorry, apparently for someone that doesn't like public speaking, I can talk. So I'm going to just pass the mic because I think that was enough.
So I'm not terribly original, but you can never hear the basics too many times. So personal development, I would be completely paralyzed still without it. Last fall, a little over a year ago, I had a miscarriage and I was just drowning in depression for many months afterward. And then I read Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein and that like brought me back to myself. So personal development, consistency, because as I said, I've been a coach for 5 years. I have never stayed consistent until about March this year. And just inviting every single day, showing up on my social media every single day, it makes a huge difference. You can't do this business without being consistent. And being vulnerable, which has been really hard for me, but sharing more about my my pregnancy and stuff that I generally wouldn't talk publicly about. A couple weeks ago, well, maybe like a month ago, I was talking on my stories and just had a complete meltdown, started sobbing, and it was horrifying for me, but I posted it anyway. And I had a lot of people reach out and it helped me feel better and also helped me connect with more people.
Okay, my 3 things. Top of my list was happiness, positivity, joy, being authentic. Those things all kind of encompass who I am. And especially with everything that's been going on the last few months, it has been something that I knew I could not hide away, that part of who I am, because people absolutely needed that. So to see the success in my business, I had to keep showing up as myself authentically. Second to that was also showing up, being committed and showing up consistently. I was the same. I wasn't consistent before, hence why I wasn't the fitness girl. And I ended up finally committing, and that has been a lot of what has helped in that success. And then the third thing is I am a learn-it-all. Like I want to constantly be learning and growing so that I can teach other people. And I ask a lot of questions. if I can't find the answer on my own, which is the first thing that I try to do, I go and ask questions. And it doesn't have to be just one person. It doesn't have to be just your coach, kind of like Jen said. There are so many amazing people on this team, so many people with all sorts of accolades in their own lives outside of coaching that may be able to guide you in a way to connect you with someone else who's going through something that you may know nothing about. And that is the beauty, I think, that has helped me in terms of being successful in not only my business, but also in creating those friendships with meeting people and meeting people where they're at if they're not ready to jump in with me.
So I think for myself, the thing that I thought of were the 3 C's: connection, consistency, and confidence. Connection's such a huge thing. I think it was Maya or someone else mentioned this, that in order for people to join me, they need to know, love, and trust me. And that happens through connection. And so connection can be me showing up in my stories and sharing my life. And so people see that and they know who I am. Connection can also be that I'm reaching out and I'm commenting on other people's lives, other people's stories. We're having these genuine conversations. And so that's a huge one. The consistency: if I'm not showing up, drinking my shakes, drinking my Energized, and showing my workouts, why would anyone want to get those things from me? And so being able to show up every single day. When I started, I was 3 months postpartum, and there were so many days that I was just like an emotional wreck, that I woke up and I just had no energy, no desire to like show up for the day. And so I'd literally get on my stories and be like, I'm tired, here I go. Like, and I posted, I'm like, that's the most miserable thing ever, but I have to show up. And that leads into the last one, the confidence, that by showing up, I've heard so many top coaches and other people talk about making deposits into your confidence bucket. For me, that's what it was. And so if you watch me the first 4 months, you would not be surprised by like hardly anyone joined me, because I showed up in my stories. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I was like so nervous. And so I'd like get on and I'd talk for a little bit, and then I'd get off and like, I don't even know what I just shared or what was the point of that. And no one else probably knew either. But the thing is, I showed up. And what happened was, month after month, I got a little better. I got a little more confident. And so people started joining me. And so those are definitely the 3 things that have helped me through this journey so far.
Well, I'm probably going to sound like a broken record, because consistency is like the first thing that came to my mind, because no one is going to trust you, just like Kristen said, if you're not showing up, or if you're not like proof of the product. That's like your number one job as a coach, is to take care of yourself, read personal development, and be proof that these products work and that you love them. And that is basically what everyone just said. So the only thing I have to add that's helped me is that my first pregnancy, I used it as an excuse to eat whatever I wanted, not work out, do nothing, and gained a lot of weight. And then did not say yes to Beachbody until I was like 18 months postpartum. And then I got pregnant with my second son and worked out literally every single day my entire pregnancy, drank the shakes, posted everything, like my transformations from like when I was, 30 weeks pregnant with my first pregnancy and compared to 30 weeks with my second was like insane. And so I feel like results really showed people like, okay, if she can do this pregnant, I can do this, maybe pregnant or not pregnant, or they're a mom and they want to get back into working out. And so then having the opportunity to show me pregnant and then postpartum as well, get back into the swing of things and all of that, I think really helped show people that, showing them physical results, and then hopefully through my consistency, seeing the whole transformation, like mind, body, and soul of all that's happened, has been I think a huge factor in people connecting with me. So that's that.
Okay, last question. We might go a little bit over, so if you have to run, you have to run. But what was your light bulb moment? So we've heard from almost everybody, minus Kayla, that they didn't come out the gates running, sprinting, like diamond in 8 hours, right? Like, so what was that light bulb moment that you were like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it well, and here I go, ready or not?
My light bulb moment, no joke, December 2019. We can all sink in for just a hot moment. I was fired from my job for literally 24 hours, and it was rough. I cried for a really long time. I didn't tell anyone. I may have told like 5 people, and I felt disposable and super unappreciated that I had helped this business grow for the 6.5 to 7 years. And I just felt like I was replaceable. So December, I came home and I told my husband that I need a different outlet. I need a different something. And I knew that I loved coaching and I loved the atmosphere and the babes and the support that I always got. So that's when I started working my power hours more and being consistent in December. And that, ironically, is about the same time that Kayla popped into my life, and she just freaking is a rock star. If you don't know who she is, you will soon. You'll start watching her more. But she definitely was there, getting at it. And then once March came around and everybody, either got furloughed, got stuck in a house, I was presented with the opportunity to stay home longer. Didn't have anywhere to go. I'm a bartender. So I really took my business more seriously starting in March, and that's where it really took off. And I am not planning on stopping anytime soon. So it took a little bit of a rough patch to really start getting that momentum going, but this did not happen overnight. This is not something that I just woke up and like, all right, well, tomorrow I'm gonna make stuff happen. No, this is something that's been building since December of 2019.
My light bulb moment was in January 2nd. January 1st, because it was New Year's. I woke up and had like a handful of messages from random people saying they were ready to sign up with me. And prior to that, I think I had only signed up maybe like 4 people. And mind you, I signed up as a coach in August. I didn't even sign up. I mean, I signed up my first person, I think, in September. And after that, I don't even know when I signed anybody up until December. So it took me a significant amount of time to like really build that trust and following from people. But again, I wasn't showing up daily and really sharing anything other than my workouts. So when I finally started sharing Shakeology and more about my personal life as well, that's when I started getting more people bought into my personal journey and my story. So that was the big light bulb, because I at that moment realized that people were following me and following my story and following my journey up until that point. And then January was my best month to date. And that sucks to say because we're now like months later and I haven't topped my SC from that month, but it's fine. We'll get there. But that gave me the momentum to just like hit the gas pedal going through the rest of January, and really truly built my confidence in what this business could be for me, because up until that point, I still didn't see a future with it. but consistently signing up and hitting SC every month since then. I've made that a goal, and to hit Emerald again too has continued to build that momentum. I still need to sign one more coach to hit Emerald this month, but if I do that, you know, those are two things that I've done every month since January to keep that momentum going, to keep me consistent. So I think more than anything, the light bulb for me is that your work that you put in today will come to fruition a couple of months down the road. And I remember Danny telling me, like, the people that I invite today will be the yeses that are yeses in a couple of months from now. They're not going to be the yeses right now. And I know I tell that to Kira all the time. And I tell that to Jada all the time too, because they're stuck in this rut where they're like, I'm only getting no's. And it's like, you work for those no's, and those no's should be exciting for you, because once you get that no, they're then intrigued in watching your story. So once you have them bought in at that point, you can come back a couple months from then. And this isn't, I mean, the last couple of months, I really have not been sending invites. I told this to Danielle, and she's like, how the hell did you hit Diamond without sending invites? I have people bought into my story. That's why I've done it. So yes, I'm like falling off track a little bit with signing as many people as I would like to, but I still have people coming to me because I have them bought in. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just once you have that momentum going, that should be your light bulb from there. And then take it from me, put in the work daily, because obviously I haven't been, so I'm seeing that like fall off track right now. But I know that if I just continue to do that and show up, that momentum will keep me going.
I guess I had two different light bulb moments. The first was like joining as a coach. It was kind of a two-parter. The first was, so I'd been watching Danny for like a year and a half, and she was nicely following up with me a bunch. And then I had a friend who was in my small group sign up as a coach, and love it. And that was in a way a small light bulb, because I realized that coaching could be whatever you wanted it to be, because Danny obviously has been in it to run, to make it a business, to make money, like to do the thing. And this other friend didn't really care about the money. She just had her second kid, and she was more like the community, and I don't really care about the money, but like the community is great. And I was like, oh, okay, light bulb. Like, I can take a little bit of what Danny wants, I can take a little bit of what she wants, and I can mesh this into something that I want, and I can truly make this what I want it to be. And I think that was the thing that really made me be like, okay, I do want to do this, because my goals aren't the same as Danny's, but they're also not the same as hers. And so that was huge. And then I remember there was a post that Danny did, and at the end of it was just that huge caps, why not you? And I'm sure she'd said it before, but for some reason that day I was like, why not me? Like, what? And so for some reason it just like hit home, and I was like, what am I waiting for? This is stupid, blah, blah, blah. So that was kind of like the light bulbs in order to get me to start coaching. And then I'd say last like July or August, there wasn't necessarily one moment, but that was kind of when I was realizing I had people on my team who actually wanted to maybe do this. I had Maya and Kristen and Portia and Kathleen, and Candace was about to sign up. And I was like, oh, maybe I should start doing my own calls and like doing stuff in my own team page, because I had my own team page, but like it was all discount coaches, and I had an Emerald coach or two Emerald coaches other than my husband, and they both quit. And one of them was right after Summit, like the week after. She was like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, peace out. So I dropped Diamond for what, like 6 months, a year, I don't know, too long. But it was kind of like, hey, I think I reached out to them, was like, would you guys want to do a team call? And honestly, I expected them to be like wishy-washy, like, oh, maybe, but they were all like, yes, let's do this. And then every week, at least 4 people were showing up, and I was like, oh, so that was kind of a light bulb of like, I need to actually show up for them, because before that, I was kind of figuring like, I don't know if they really want me to like lead them or what. I don't know what was going through my mind, but that was kind of a light bulb when all of them were like, hey, we're ready to do this. We're ready to like get behind you. And I was like, okay. So like before that, if you had asked me if I had runners, I'd have been like, oh, potential. And then all of a sudden it exploded. Everyone's doing great. And I love my people.
Okay, so obviously I said I had another light bulb moment after like the defeat, because, you know, if you don't, like if you say that you get started and then you don't do as well as you wanted to, and then maybe you give up on yourself, well, then having to start over, that's scary, right? Okay, well, that was me, and that was December, but I really had nowhere else to go. So that was like, obviously, like I said, I had some chicken chili soup light bulb, and then I had year 7 light bulb. Like there was something, okay, so Danny said year 7, this is our year. She like passionately shared that she was on a team with her cheerleaders for this many years, and every year they had what it took. She knew they had what it took, but they just didn't get there, right? I'm not going to go into all the details. She could tell you all the details another time, but like literally she goes, this is my freaking year 7. I have missed this too many times. We are going to make it this year, yada, 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 yada. And I'm like, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, we're going to make it. This is year 7. This is my year. Like I'm doing this too. And so, I mean, I was just like amped up on everything. And I feel like everyone's energy was just like relaying off of one another. So like I said, I had like a couple light bulb moments, but I feel like the lights just continue to flicker for me because I did struggle in the past with consistency always. Like I was always passionate about fitness. I would come in and come out, and I would fall in and fall out. I used to be a gym bunny before I had my baby, and I literally was in the best shape of my life. Then I had my child, and I had it in my mind that there's no way I was ever going to be able to work out again unless I got back to a gym. But I also wasn't the girl that was willing to bring my child to the gym daycare just so I could get a workout in. So I just continued to use that as my excuse why I couldn't get back into something that I was super, super passionate about. So, you know, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. When I did sign up, I never even committed to a program. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm passionate about fitness. I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to sign people up. And like, I had success 6, whatever, like I said, like first month, like Danny got me all fired up with her amazing recognition. And then I'm like doing my own workouts, like literally got heavier and heavier. I got the heaviest I've ever been in my life in August of last year. I was working out on my own. I'm a Beachbody coach. So I finally decided I'm going to commit to this brand new program, Morning Meltdown 100. I'm going to do it, see what the freaking fuss is about. I think I tried like a couple like 21-day fix workouts like out of order. But you guys, like these things are structured for you for a reason. So I committed. I went halfway. Like obviously I was still in that weird phase, right? So I recommitted, like I said, in January. I finished Morning Meltdown. I doubled up so I could finish. Had a lot of light bulb moments. The year 7 was a light bulb. Lean into the team. Like we are better together. Like all of you. You guys are all my light bulbs because each and every one of you flickers something for me. So that's my biggest thing. Like I keep saying that. And when someone says lean into the team and you don't know what that means, it literally means like make connections with the team first, because if you can't make connections with the team, how do you expect to invite people to some team you're not even connected with? Right? So yeah, light bulb moment, they never end. You just keep having them. I hope that they just keep flickering because you're literally, if you want this business to last, your light's not going to be dim. It's not a dimmer. It only goes up from here, baby. So keep those light bulbs flickering and just lean in and find the light, because I'm telling you, there's light everywhere and every single one of you are incredible and you all have what it takes. So muted.
So I've been saying for years that I want to turn this into a full-time income so that when I have kids, I don't have to go back to work. And I never did the actions that would create that income. So in mid-March, I was furloughed and decided I literally have no excuses. And so I went all in with my workouts. I went all in with my business, and I have 6 weeks left of my pregnancy. I don't know if they'll call me back into work before that, but because of the work I've put in the last 3 months, I do not have to go back to work after I have my baby.
Okay.
Can I just say, woo! Sorry.
My light bulb moment was hitting Success Club for the first time. I didn't know what Success Club was. I had no idea what I was doing. Again, I was not the fitness girl. And when I was finally told that, Alex actually messaged me and said, you hit Success Hub. And I'm like, cool, what's that? And then when she told me, that asking question, what's that? What does that mean? What is that? And then she told me all the different things that come with it, the swag, the fun, the trips, and all. That's when everything kind of went, ah. Like that for me was so much of my personality and what fuels me. I'm very motivated by earning things. I'm a bit competitive, even with myself. And then what led from that was just to consistently keep hitting Success Club. And the biggest light bulb that, like, okay, that one got me going. The big light bulb that happened was when I hit Success Starter. I, again, was not the fitness girl. And when I hit something in this business that was something that was actually because I was showing up as a fitness girl, showing up and actually working out and showing other people that they can do it too and helping them, that made all the difference. And you guys, being in the test group from MBF was amazing. It was incredible. And if I can tell anybody who's a new coach, do not squander being in Success Club and hitting Success Starter. It is fuel to the fire to help you run and do something big with your business.
So I'll make this quick. So when I signed up, I didn't have Facebook. So the first 4 months where I was like really sitting idle, I didn't have access to the team. So I had no idea that Boss Babes was even a thing, that there was a team page. I never was on a team call. And then finally I was like, all right, I'm getting my Facebook back. The first team call on a Monday night, I like texted Maya. I'm like, are you going to be on this call? She's like, I don't think so. And then fear took over. I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what this is like. And I almost didn't do it, but I got on the call. I listened to Danny and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. And she goes, okay, for all you new coaches, we have a call on Wednesday, why Emerald? And I couldn't make it to that call. So I watched the recording. It's like 30 minutes. I watched that recording. Up until this point, 4 months, I hadn't signed a single coach. I watched it. She told me why. I mean, she told everyone, but she was like, she was speaking to me, why I needed to go Emerald. So 2 days later, I signed up my 2 coaches and I went Emerald. And then since then, I've just hit the ground running. And for the past 6 months, I've hit Success Club 10 or more every single month. So for anyone that's not Emerald or you just need some fire, go watch Why Emerald. That was my light bulb.
Okay, be super quick, but Kristen is my light bulb moment because when she signed up, I got this check in the mail and it was for like $29.99, I remember something, and I sent her a picture of it and I was like, why is Beachbody sending me money? Like, what? I was like, I think this must be from your purchase. And I was like, I should probably buy you something because I didn't know I was going to make this money from you. And that was light bulb. So I was like, let's do this. Like, we can make money from this. I didn't even know. So then from that point on, Kristen, when she was all in, I was all in. And literally since day one, we have kind of just gone on this together.
Oh, I was like, who's next? You guys are amazing. This was so fun to hear everyone's stories. I know we're 5 minutes over, so I really appreciate you guys staying on. The fact that there's 48 women on here tonight, again, I know we don't all have glasses on, but if this is just my dream come true to be on this call with you guys, like literally, I was like, oh, maybe I'll chime in and be Stephanie, not talk as her, but take her place. And then I was like, I'm going to cry because I just love everybody so much. This is my dream, is to be on a team with you guys and watch you guys succeed and hit all the goals that you have for yourself. So I hope that tonight some or all of the stories resonated with you and that you can see yourself as your most successful self with this business. Whether or not you have grand plans and schemes to do crazy things with Beachbody, just remember that if you have grand plans for your life, Beachbody is a tool that can help you make those things come true. And that doesn't mean you have to walk the stage at Summit at Beachbody, but having the opportunity to live your fittest and healthiest life while helping others and being rewarded and compensated for that is just going to ripple effect into the other amazing things that you can do in your life. Like, yeah, I want all the grand things that Beachbody has to offer, but I also want to start my own clothing line. And I'm going to use the money that Beachbody is paying me to make that dream a reality for myself. Like, before I became a coach, my dream was to go live in New York and work for a fashion company, and I was going to smoke cigarettes and be really skinny. That was my dream, okay? Obviously, I had dark hair in this scenario too, so God, glad that didn't happen. Woo! Okay, that was my dream. That was going to be me. I was going to be super thin and a bitch and be in New York and smoke cigarettes, right? That was me. But look at, dreams can change. Now I am healthy and happy, and I get to hang out with you guys every single Monday and talk to you guys every single day. It's a dream come true, right? So, but I have other dreams in my life. So Beachbody is a huge thing in my life. It's not my entire life, right? My entire life is my husband and my daughter, but Beachbody fits in so perfectly to our lives because it makes me better for them. And so I hope that you see how Beachbody fits into your life, that it's not a chore on your life. And doing the things that are required of you to build this business are just going to make you better all around. Like, yeah, people are going to say no to you. Oh, well, boo-hoo. Some girl invited me to be on her Savvy Fit team today. I was like, thanks so much for thinking of me. I'm really happy with Beachbody, but best of luck to you. Oh, well, right? She's okay. I'm okay. So you'll be okay if somebody invites you or you invite them and you guys say no to each other, right? But imagine the people that say yes. Imagine that this is your team call that you're running, right? Like, look at all these faces that you have the opportunity to help and to influence and become friends with and travel the world with and succeed with. And that's very rare. Most large groups of women aren't lifting each other up. And so this is really special. So I'm going to take a picture of us. I'm going to stop recording.